it must have taken a lot for you to get from the garage to where you are today. And it must have taken personal vision.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious, how would you articulate what your personal vision for yourself is?
My personal vision for myself would be to, well, let's take a step back. So I think how I live my life these days, it may be a little bit morbid, but at the same time, I think it's just how I am, how I think. It's just, when all is said and done in my life, like how will I feel about myself, and how will those around me feel about the impact that I had on them, not around kind of broader business or anything else, but just them personally. And so I joke only, I guess semi-jokingly, I always say on my tombstone, I don't want it to say, "Here lies Chieh, purveyor of toilet paper, innovator of consumer packaged goods." I want it to say, "Here lies Chieh, made a difference in someone's life." And so I kind of judge myself through that every morning. Sometimes I fail miserably, and all I did the previous day was hack away at emails and didn't really affect anyone. But it is the bar that I set for myself each and every day. And so that is the personal vision that I've set forth for myself.
So how did you develop that vision for yourself, and how has that morphed over time?
It's definitely morphed quite drastically over time. When you're in a garage with just three other folks and just like trying to live the dream, and no one really believes in you at that time. We had it was literally a 2-car garage. There was like a leaf blower in the back. I had friends and family visit, and they're like, "Oh, this is the great box," and like they'd go back and post on Facebook, "Chieh's unemployed," or my mother-in-law would be like, "I knew you weren't the one," and like, how's Frank from Harvard to my wife, is he still single, and so, going from those days to now, like, it's definitely morphed quite a bit, and that motivation every day has morphed. So at that time, it was just survival. It really was. It was just a few folks in the garage. Let's live the dream. Let's try to make something. But over time, we picked up more and more folks. In the beginning, it was more folks kind of like us, and so professionals looking to get out of the daily grind and wanting to join a startup. But as we opened up physical facilities throughout the country, the responsibility that I felt that I had certainly morphed during that time. And so I no longer was at the helm of a 4-person kind of little dinghy. It was kind of like a multi-100-person, I guess, bigger dinghy, and then became a yacht and maybe a cruise ship one day. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that's morphed in my mind and that's morphed in me throughout that time has been that sense of responsibility greater than myself. So I'm no longer trying to build Box because I want a personal or professional win. I'm building Box and waking up every morning and doing what I do because there's folks counting on me. And that might sound a little strange until you go into some of our facilities, some of which we recruit out of homeless shelters. These folks are depending on me and us and these regular folks that were in the garage to make the right decisions so that they can put food on the table. We pay pretty decent wages, but the reality is some of these folks, this is their first job while they're recovering and while they're in a homeless shelter. And so if we don't make those right decisions on behalf of them, then they're going to have to make trade-offs in life. And that's become kind of my daily calling, I guess. So outside of toilet paper, outside of e-commerce, that's really what drives me, that sense of responsibility.